Alrighty. Hello. Is this thing working? Are we live? We are live. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Let's see here. Let me switch to this. Hello, everybody. Hello. Let's see who we got up in here. Master Sith, what's up, man? How you doing? Jay is bored. I know Jedi have always been the assholes. Space ISIS. They really have, man. Jay for State Farm, what's up, man? You, I guess, don't like it. Matthew, hello. How you doing, man? O'Hara Young, hello. Series of fun lightsaber battles were great. Let me get rid of this music there. Pretty much enjoyed every episode. Now waiting on House of the Dragon, Rings of Power. Yeah, I'm worried about Rings of Power. We'll talk about that later, but I'm really worried about that as far as being actual garbage. We'll see. Danette, hello. Hey, I just watched the episode. So tears in my eyes. Yeah, it was. We'll definitely get into that last fight. It was certainly emotional for sure. We'll talk about the good and the bad. I think overall it was great. AK Watch, hello. How you doing? Aaron Odd, how you doing? I think they made for a meh season. Thoughts? We'll get into all that. Voodoo Darling, hello. Lady Danish, hello. Time for a smoke spray. There's the Lord Kev. Evil Villain. Weird, I can't display the video on my YouTube app and talk at the same time, but I'll do separate in my living room. I don't know. Refresh, maybe? Only good thing was the fight, says Jake. Other than that, dialogue was crap and all, and you made up rules and plots are crap. Doc Holiday, what's up, man? Eugenio, I believe. Not a Riva hater, but bugs me as she survived through lightsaber attacks. Yeah, we'll definitely talk about that, too. What's up, Mazuma? Phil, what's up, Phil? The Issues guy. Look who's up in here. What a great end to the season. Hope all is well. Everything is great, man. Pretty good, decent, I would say. But yeah, definitely overall a great episode, and they really pulled it back in the last two for sure. We'll get into some of that as well. Dragon King, hello. Remember when lightsaber strikes used to mean something? Qui-Gon Jinn does. Yeah, I'm bugged by that as well. Yeah, I'm definitely bugged by the Riva thing. Let's see. Mazuma, you got a cold? Slept like 15 hours. Let's see. I think this is Diane. There's Diane Harris. How you doing? You got some rain. Awesome. I don't know what's but Obi-Wan was pretty good. Let's see. You're asking Phil if he watched Miss Marvel. I checked out the first episode. It's okay. It's more kiddie to me, but it seems fine. I don't know. I've never been a Miss Marvel fan, honestly, in the old comic stuff. Of course, she's not that old. Ask the Cheese, what's up? How you doing? Let's see. I'm trying to scroll down to the bottom here. Yeah, we'll talk about the music too, Diane. They definitely upped the music game this episode. It's like they waited. So first, we'll have an open Q&A and discussion, whatever. Just let me go over the major points here real quick. So you had basically three things that people are talking about, the three big plot lines. What's up, Randy Suimatsu? Great finale, good series with potential for the future. Season 2 coming. I don't know. I don't think we need a season 2, Randy, but I'll get to that. So let's talk about the Riva stuff. I have no problem with a Riva in and of herself as a character. All the Inquisitors have backstories. I talked about that before. The Grand Inquisitor, he was a Jedi Temple Guard. I think Riva's story is fine. It was kind of a mini version of a redemption arc, in line with Anakin. It took a much longer time, obviously. So it was done a little quick, but I have no problem with her in and of herself, having a backstory and whatever. I do have a problem with, like you said, somebody said getting impaled by a lightsaber twice now. I mean, we're assuming that first one was actually, being stabbed as well as a kid, and then she survived. I thought for sure at the end she would, like, after she brought Luke back. Well, obviously we're talking spoilers here, just making sure. We're going to spoil everything. But I thought she would kind of drop down, have her little redemption, and just fall over. That's what should have happened, and there's a reason for that. Not just because I hate the character or whatever, but she has too much information, I think, and we'll see. But I guess they're probably going to have her maybe join the Ahsoka show or do her own show. I don't know, but I do have a problem with her surviving two lightsaber, and two being impaled twice now, especially as a kid when you could see her more as an adult and being stronger in the Force and whatever, and having a little bit of dark side training as an Inquisitor. Maybe her hate or whatever keeps her alive. That is a thing for sure. But the point being that she shouldn't have lived through either one, really. Yeah, exactly, Phil. I mean, it looked like the same hole. Like, she has a scar there already, obviously. Now, you could argue, that you could argue, like I said last week, hold on a second, that a lightsaber wound would be cauterized. I mean, you could argue that in certain spots for sure. But, like, Anakin lost his arm. Everybody loses an arm or a hand. The wound is immediately cauterized. There's no real blood. They did blood back in A New Hope, but it really shouldn't be. You could argue something like that, but come on, man. Qui-Gon Jinn is we're talking about. Qui-Gon got stabbed the same way, and he died. So anyway, the point being that I have no problem with Riva in the sense of her and having her own little kind of side story, whatever. But because all the Inquisitors do have backstories, people have to remember they're bitching about Riva, but you had big Inquisitor backstories, like, for example, Canon, the Jedi Canon, became a Jedi Knight by an apparition of the Grand Inquisitor after he was dead, and made him a Jedi Knight, essentially, after death. So there are things like that that's happened before, and, I get it. What I do like is that they didn't overpower her. They didn't overpower Riva. When she fought Vader last episode, that was the cool, calm, collected Vader who's growing in power. He's not overly emotional like he is against Obi-Wan. Although most Sith actually encouraged to use their emotions, he's a lot weaker against Obi-Wan than he is any other Jedi. He has no problem with at all. But being an Obi-Wan specifically because of his connection, he's still got some Anakin in there. He's overly emotional and starts going in a rage and is not controlled anymore. Where we saw him against Riva, and he was playing with her like a rag doll. He didn't even pull out his lightsaber. He did what a true Sith would and just fucks with her with the Force. Lightsabers, for me, for the Sith, are, as Palpatine said, they're just show. They're just for show. They're really not even, they don't even really matter. But anyway, the point being that was good. They didn't have her overpowered. She wasn't really that powerful, obviously, as compared to, say, the Grand Inquisitor, who we didn't really see obviously the whole season. That was a disappointment at the same time as I didn't like his look and everything either. So fine with that, whatever. But he was a full Jedi Temple Guard and a badass with a dual blade back in the day anyway, so he's going to be a lot more powerful than, say, Riva or the Night Sister or any of those people. Anyway, so I don't have a problem with that in and of itself. I do have a problem with, she didn't actually have to be in the show, but they needed this side story with Leia and all this kind of stuff to get Obi-Wan kind of to wake up, to get off the planet a little bit and come out of his cave. I don't know why, honestly, people expected him to sit there and stare through binoculars at Luke or something the whole time. That was never going to happen. It was never about Luke. So when people were saying it's all about Leia, well, what about happened to Luke? Well, it was never about Luke anyway, and it wasn't about Leia, although she was a main component that we didn't expect for sure. So Leia and Riva, people had problems with them being kind of main characters that should have been just kind of side or background characters. So I agree with that to an extent. But it was her little turning back to the light, it showed what I think that the idea was, anyway, for me, the way I took it, was that it showed what Anakin could have done if he would have chose to listen to Obi-Wan, and like during that fight scene we'll talk about in a second, it just shows that he could have turned back, and we get that line in Return of the Jedi, where he says Obi-Wan once thought as you did, and I thought they'd have a little more dialogue around that right there, which we'll talk about in a second. But anyway, so overall, it's fine. I didn't have a big problem. I didn't love the Riva stuff. I didn't love the Leia stuff. But I don't understand how she lives, because she's got too much information. Not only does she know Anakin is Vader, which he eliminates anybody. If you go back in any comics or whatever it may be, anybody that knows that, he eliminates. It doesn't matter if it's stormtroopers, Imperial officers, whatever, he immediately eliminates them. For him to play with her and then just stab her and not make sure she was dead, kind of like he did Obi-Wan. But I think that's I can understand that to a degree, again, because there's still some Anakin in there who kind of don't want to kill these people in some cases. There's still, they're still part Anakin Skywalker, which this is about. We have Obi-Wan kind of getting his groove back throughout this whole series. He started off as kind of this useless old dude who cut himself off from the Force and buried his lightsabers, to coming back to full Obi-Wan, and then becoming Ben and the old wise Jedi Master, that we see in A New Hope. So that was good. So Riva kind of mirrored that, and then the opposite was Vader becoming more, or Anakin becoming more Vader and less Anakin, and burying Anakin as deep as he possibly can until eventually, obviously, he comes back in Return of the Jedi. So he's always there, but he's less and less Anakin, which makes him more and more powerful. Leia. But Riva has the information before we get to Leia really quick. And she knows that Luke's there, and nobody needs to know that. If she goes and spills the beans to somebody, she goes and changes her mind, and says, you know what? I can still get my revenge or whatever. If I go to Lord Vader and tell him I'm alive and say, look, I got some information that'll change everything, whatever, she could get back. I mean, there's too many things that she could do. Obi-Wan could not let her leave there with that information. She knows Anakin has kids, and now she has the information, and he's just like, yeah, go do what you want, be who you want to be. And I know he's not a murderer, so I thought for sure that she would do the right thing, bring Luke back, all that good stuff, and then kind of fall over. But she didn't. So they left a big hole there I don't like. Hello, Jessica. How are you? Dragon King. So she went after Luke to get her revenge on Anakin. So that was her way of getting revenge, since she couldn't obviously kill him. She finds out he has kids and then wants to kill his son, and that was her revenge thing. And then she couldn't do it. She saw herself, which I like that. I thought that was fine. But I don't like her walking away from all this, honestly. It leaves too many things open. Now that information can spread, and eventually the Emperor finds out. Anyway, and they could argue that's how the Emperor finds out. Maybe he senses it, whatever, but he finds out through the Force. So we'll see if there's ever an explanation. The Leia bit really quick. I didn't mind Leia in the sense of the show or any of the little things like, okay, she got kidnapped, and he called, Bail Organa calls Obi-Wan. That's fine. That's kind of what triggered his emotional change to get back into the groove of things. But it did overshadow for a little bit, for a couple episodes. It was too much, I think. I think they overdid the stuff. But then again, they can't have Obi-Wan and Vader the whole time. There's got to be some other stuff going on. What's up, Top Shelf? How you doing, man? Yeah, I don't think they should do another either. I'm going to get to that in a second. I don't think they should do another. They got to leave this. They're going to go too far if they try to do another Obi-Wan show. Maybe you do a Vader show alone. I'm fine with that. There's a lot of good stuff in Dark Lord. That could be a show in itself. I think it's great. But anyway, I don't think they should do another Obi-Wan. So Leia, they still have the issue where he didn't do like a mind wipe or whatever. So Leia knows Obi-Wan. They're really, really close. He admits he knows her parents and all that good stuff. but didn't want to tell her too much, and she seemed to understand that or whatever. But he says you have to keep it secret, and it's like, okay, fine, but she still has the same message in A New Hope. And I know it's hard to do these prequels when you have canon to stick to, but that's why you don't bring her in at all. Have another way to bring Obi-Wan, back to the world of the living. So I don't like the idea that they're this close, because they never have any interaction in the original series. Obviously, she still addresses him as General Kenobi, as if the message somehow, people argue, well, if the message got, or the droid got caught, there's plans in the droid anyway. So you're telling Obi-Wan you need help. You think she would say, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you fought with my father in the Clone Wars. You helped me out like 8 years ago. Please come to, Alderaan, all this stuff. But it was really formal. So clearly that was the intention of George Lucas in the prequels the original series, is that she does not know Obi-Wan personally, but just of him. But now that's changed. So now you kind of got to do some mental gymnastics to make that line work. So I don't like that aspect. So other than that, I don't have a problem with Leia. I like the actress. I thought she was fine. I'm fine with them showing a little bit of her becoming kind of the Leia we all know and love or whatever. Lewis, Barry, somebody else mentioned that. My cousin mentioned that she looks a lot like teenage Leia. That's a possibility for sure. You get some side Leia show. But, these type of shows, how they do at Disney, they open up all these other possibilities. And then the last thing I'll say, obviously, is Anakin Obi-Wan. I thought the last fight was outstanding. I thought it was really, really good. It was emotional. You had Obi-Wan coming out. He's back in his Form 3. He's going... He's being patient and defensive, and then he breaks into like Form 4 offensive, real invader. He starts off kind of calm and cool and controlling everything. You see some new stuff like using the Force a lot, kind of overwhelming. Obi-Wan's kind of back and forth. I thought the choreography was really good for the planet they were on, using the rocks and stuff. Obi-Wan gets OP, and all of a sudden he's throwing fucking rocks like this behind him. I thought that was really cool to see him that powerful. Vader then starts getting more emotional and starts breaking down because he is weaker around Obi-Wan, always has been. He still has that emotional attachment to him personally, and I thought it was shown really well. And then they did the classic thing they did in Rebels, where Ahsoka had done the same thing. It was just the other half of his helmet, where he gets hit in the helmet. You see Anakin's actual face, and it was a good line. He's saying, Anakin, I'm sorry for all of it. I thought it was really good. Tears in his eyes, tears coming to my eyes. And he says, Anakin Skywalker wasn't your failure. You didn't kill him, I did. And that was like the two personalities, Vader taking over. So that was what this was all about. And then he says, so my friend is truly dead. That kind of justifies the from another point of view type of thing. So I thought that was okay. I thought the fight was really, really good. And then, like we were talking about, really, really emotional, I thought. So I think overall it was really good. I mean, they really brought it back. And then finally at the end, he's talking to Palpatine, and Palpatine is saying this stuff like, it's saying, you sound like bothered, Lord Vader. I think your feelings for your former master have made you weak, type of stuff. And he just sits there for a second and says, Obi-Wan Kenobi means nothing. And then it plays the Imperial March. We finally get the music. He is like kind of Darth Vader from that point on. The cool, calm, collected, badass Vader we kind of get to know in A New Hope and the other stuff. So overall, I thought it was good. I know a lot of people are still complaining, but a lot of people are also reaching, I think, just my opinion, about how terrible it is or whatever, because it's kind of their job to hate on anything Disney, and that's fine. Everybody can have their opinions, but so there's my overall thoughts on it, the good and the bad. I think overall it was pretty good, but I think as far as them doing episodes or season 2, no more. Don't do another Obi-Wan show. You want to do, like I said, Vader, the Dark Lord is a great book. I think if you're a Star Wars fan, you have to read that to understand Anakin and how he adapts to the suit and how he adapts his fighting styles and all that kind of stuff. It's outstanding. It would make a great show, just going after random Jedi or whatever. But no more Obi-Wan stuff. We don't need to see Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon hanging out talking. Maybe you can make an appearance here and there or something in some show, but nothing. You can't do, like, you can't keep having Obi-Wan versus Anakin. You can't keep doing that. I think they pretty much wrapped it up. So no more Obi-Wan shows to ruin A New Hope, because they go too far trying to milk it. Then they're going to actually ruin the character or the canon, like they kind of already have fucked with a little bit. So, Natalie, what? Boo thoughts? So there's my thoughts. So now let me read some of yours. I know you're commenting the whole time, so I apologize. I just wanted to get that out there up front and give my overall thoughts, and then we'll get into some detail, I'm sure, with your questions. So I'll apologize in advance. I know you guys have typed a lot of stuff while I was running my mouth. Excuse me. Diane, I'm glad we got to see a little bit of Leia, a little bit of life for Alderaan when it was destroyed. In New Hope, it didn't mean much. We had no history or backstory. Now it makes the destruction more tragic. Yeah, it does a little bit, although she was really indifferent to the whole thing when it happened. But it does give you an idea of, what kind of people were down there and whatever. So, yeah, I mean, there's certainly some good aspects to some of the side stuff that a lot of people didn't like. Let's see. Well, Sifu, in talking about Dragon King, or replying to Dragon King, remember the dumb part about her learning about Luke was that she picked up before, when she didn't die the first time after the Vader fight, she picked up Obi-Wan's little transmitter where he did not delete that voicemail, which was dumb because he handed everything and trusted this dude he just met, and then didn't delete that when he clearly said in the message, I know he said no communications, but I got to go to Tatooine because, Luke might be in trouble, or whatever in the hell it was. That's how she found out. When he said, Sifu, when she said, when Bail Organa said, I've got to go check on, talking about the children, that only implies kind of one thing, that Obi-Wan is watching out over Anakin's children. So that's why he's going to rescue this child, because they're the children of Anakin. Anyway, Ungalent, it was horrible. Fair enough. The whole show, or you're saying like this episode, or what? Let's see. I'm trying to catch up here. Erie fan, what's up? It seems like this could have been a 3-hour movie, but they had to stretch it out to a 6 episodes. They could have used more plot and story, but it was shot during COVID protocols. It gets a pass for sure. Yeah, that is true. I mean, I do think that we were talking about this last week. We talked about episode 5. It seemed like some of the CGI was a little off. I'm not going to be nitpicking everything, but I'm just saying it seems like The Mandalorian had a movie feel, and it seems like they would use all their resources to make an Obi-Wan Kenobi Vader series as perfect as it could possibly be. And I think overall it's fine, but there were just some moments there you were like, I don't know. But they did kind of stretch it out. I mean, look, if you would have known Riva before this, or it was, say, 10 episodes, or they had started this a season earlier, let's say, before they got to all this stuff, that would have made more sense to get to know her and what her motivations were. But when you kind of hear it all in 1 or 2 episodes, and then all of a sudden she's redeemed, I get it. It's a little rushed, but again, it is what it is. Yvette, Reba should have been hunting Quinlan Voss and not kidnapping Leia. Agreed. They had some opportunities here that they missed, I think, for sure. Now we may see Voss as well, because she's going to be in something else, and we're certainly going to see an Ahsoka series. Ungalent, SmokeScreen problem, Leia, Bill, Obi-Wan connection is still known. Why does this never happen again, seeing as how he knows Obi-Wan is still alive? Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like they're writing in gaps, I guess, you know what I mean? Because they have the established, obviously you can't change A New Hope and all that stuff. So that's my whole problem with the whole Leia Obi-Wan connection is this, you can think, okay, well, you know, she's just being formal because it's a message in a hidden droid or whatever, but it's not. It's a hidden droid is the point. There's plans, there's Death Star plans in that droid anyway. You might as well say what you feel, and it just doesn't fit the line anymore. So, we'll see. But yeah, Lewis, I just saw your thing again, Millie Bobby Brown. I heard somebody else mention that, and my cousin, I think it was, and yeah, she kind of looks like her if they decide to do some young Leia stuff. I don't want them to do that, honestly, though. I mean, I would be fine with it, but I mean, unless she's at a time where she's training, like they showed in what was it? The flashbacks in, was it a movie? Was it The Last Jedi? No, not Last Jedi. Rise of Skywalker. What were the flashbacks with Luke and Leia when she was training to be a Jedi for a while? I'll be fine with that time period or something. So that's certainly a possibility. But it's like you kind of know where all this is going. That's what I wanted to mention real quick about the Riva stuff too, going after Luke, is like we knew she's not going to kill him. I mean, we know there was no like threat of that. There was no fear that she may hurt Luke or something. So we knew it was going to happen. So that kind of took away from it as well, just knowing obviously that he lived and all that stuff for A New Hope. Seafood, no one can ever know Leia, Obi-Wan. The Empire already knowing about Leia and Obi-Wan's connection. Exactly. That's kind of the thing is, you know, the Empire doesn't necessarily know. Anakin doesn't know. Only Riva. And that's what I mean. She's kind of a loose end who could just say something to the wrong person. Even if she's good again or whatever it may be, she's got that information. Lewis, the scene with the mask half off is next level. Yeah, it was outstanding. They took that straight from Rebels, which happened. It wasn't obviously Obi-Wan, but it was cool to see it live action, to see, you know, Hayden under that mask again and stuff. And then you saw it changing from blue to red with the lightsabers, and that was the voice, the best line, dude. I'm telling you, the best line was, it was so outstanding when he was talking. And he says, "I am what remains." And it goes to James Earl Jones again, you know, because the suit's malfunctioning. Obviously, it's half broken. He's busted his chest piece. That was cool. You heard Anakin talking, and then it switched back like mid-sentence to Vader's deeper voice. You know, that was badass. That was fucking cool, man. Eerie fan, I think the only big hole is why the hell Luke see a red lightsaber chasing his family around, and then you wouldn't think he would mention that. I don't think he saw it. I think he jumped out. I think he might have saw a red glow or something, but I don't think he saw. I watched that again, and he never saw the lightsaber. So I think that's fine. They said that Tusken Raiders were coming, but he might have heard her. I'm not sure. I don't remember exactly, but they never showed that he saw any lightsaber. Maybe a red glow behind him as he's climbing out that little hole. So I think that's fine. I don't think that's overdoing it there, because obviously the first time he sees one is when Obi-Wan hands him Anakin's old lightsaber in A New Hope. Uncle Leia, Obi-Wan used the Force to attack. Yeah, uncommon for Jedi. That's what I liked him going and switching styles up, man. He became kind of the Obi-Wan we needed to see. I'm telling you, the best lightsaber fight is that, what is it, C-38 Reimagined. Let me find that on YouTube. I'll link that. For anybody who has not seen that, that needs to be bought. Was it 38 Reimagined? Something. SC-38, right? This needs to be bought. Yeah, right here. It's a 6-minute video. Let me grab the link here. This needs to be bought and put into. I would be totally fine if they edit this into A New Hope, and then this. I'm just saying. Here, I'll paste that a couple times. Watch that after this video or whatever if you have a chance. If you haven't seen it, I'm sure a lot of you have. If you're Star Wars fans. Best light. That's not even official. That needs to be the fight that we see during A New Hope. making a second Enola Holmes movie on Netflix with Millie Bobby Brown. I hadn't even seen the first, Jessica. Asked the Chiefs, seemed like they're milking a cash cow, but just feels, well, sure. I mean, yeah, I can't honestly blame them. They have to dip into the same well because they don't have any, new and interesting characters that they've created, but they're always going to be able to use the nostalgia of Vader and Obi-Wan and big characters like that to milk it. Sure. I mean, that's what they're doing. But I mean, as Star Wars fans, we all want to see this stuff, right? We want to see them done right, but we do want to see it. Lewis, I love seeing the Emperor. Yes, it was cool to see him back as well. And then Qui-Gon, obviously Qui-Gon. We thought that was coming. We kept waiting on it. I was like, here it comes. He's going to talk to him right before he fights Vader, or he's going to talk to him like mid-fight or something. He's going to be in trouble, and Qui-Gon's going to appear to him really quick or whatever it may be, but it's like at the end, and he says, I've always been here. You just wasn't ready to see it. So once he opens himself back up and he became, as he called it, free and whatever, then he was open enough to see him, I suppose. So good to see Qui-Gon back. It was really cool. But we never see Qui-Gon as a Force ghost again. I don't know. I'm conflicted on the Qui-Gon thing. I loved it, but he was never, I know Yoda said he's learned to commune, but he didn't say as an actual ghost as opposed to just a voice. I don't know. Maybe it's the same thing. But it was cool to see. Ask the Cheese, hate on Disney equals Doomcock and Knights of Melbourne and entire fandom menace. Agreed, though. Well, I mean, look, I don't disagree with everything they say. I think there's certainly valid criticism of Disney stuff, for sure. No doubt about it. And, I was fandom menace before there was a fandom menace as far as the Last Jedi stuff goes. I mean, there's just no doubt about it. But yeah, I mean, obviously there's an audience for, overthinking, kind of overstepping and hating everything. And that's fine. They can have their opinions. I try to be common sense about it. There's things that were great. There's things that I hated. There's things that I loved. Overall, the show was entertaining. It didn't overly destroy anything or any characters. They didn't make Vader weak just to show how cool Riva was. They didn't make her a Mary Sue where she's all of a sudden as powerful as Vader. Those are the type of things. Those are the type of things right there that make this overall good, because they didn't inject any politics into it and all that kind of stuff like people were expecting. Steph Snow, hello. Chris, your lighting tonight is a vibe. This is always the lighting on Twitch now, Steph Snow, by the way. You don't stop by anymore because I know you hate my games, but that's I always use my lighting here. Let's see. Proth Phenom, you can even just type Vader versus Obi-Wan Reimagine. I love that. Oh yeah. The SC-38, yes. It's outstanding. That was a sick-ass fight, and it's not even, official. I'll be totally fine if they bought that from whoever created it, give them $1 million or whatever it is, insert that into A New Hope. I know people made edits with that being in there, but make it official. Just make it. I'm fine with that. I know people like the classic, but they're standing there. And remember, George Lucas couldn't do all that stuff. This would have been what he wanted to do. I have no doubt that if George Lucas still owned Lucasfilm, just like he went back and changed the special edition, he changed the Force Ghost and all that kind of stuff, he would have totally got this fight and then put in a new special DVD edition. There's no doubt in my mind. Because that's what he wanted to do. That's the kind of thing he intended. We couldn't see badass Vader in 1978. We just couldn't. That's the thing. Eerie fan, I just think they set up all this canon with the cartoon movies and everything that they can't make a live action movie without messing up something somewhere. Well, that is true. There's so much stuff that, there's going to be some, there's supposed to be a whole department based off continuity, but some of it's just also bad writing. There was some bad writing in this show for sure. There was stuff that just didn't make a lot of sense. And what really bothers me about the Disney thing is they, Deborah Chow was really great on Mandalorian, and she directed every single episode of this and ran the show. But why do you have writers that have not seen Return of the Jedi or A New Hope, or they literally admitted that, some of these people? Why would you use any of that stuff? When you had a writer on the show asking, what did Obi-Wan know? How much did he know about Vader and Anakin? You got problems. So anyway, can't see Lord Kev. I can't wait to see what Feige can come up with in the Star Wars universe. Yeah, man. I mean, Feige, and then if you have Filoni at least involved, he is almost the Padawan of George Lucas. I mean, he really is. He still talks to Lucas about everything. If you keep him involved in everything, Feige, Favreau, for the most part. Favreau, remember, was all about ran Boba Fett, and Boba Fett was not good until the last few episodes, when it wasn't really about Boba Fett, until the finale, where they seemed to have changed tones and he didn't talk as much and all that stuff. But more Filoni, in my opinion. Filoni is like the guy who's going to check with George Lucas, and remember, they created Ahsoka together and all that stuff. So that's the bigger concern for me. Let's see, A-Team. What's up, A-Team? Scene 38 is dope. Yeah, it's I've watched it about 1 billion times, man. I'm trying to catch up here. I'm sorry here. Everett, Qui-Gon shouldn't have appeared as a Force Ghost. It was already in canon that he couldn't become a Force Ghost to only speak through the Force. He never matched. See, that's what I was saying, Everett. Exactly. That was like that's what I'm saying. It was cool to see him, but I don't think he had completely learned the ghost thing. We've heard his voice before, obviously, in the stupid ass sequels that don't count for me. But we also heard Anakin's. Anakin never really learned it either. See, that's the other thing too. Remember, people were complaining about a lot of stuff on this show, or, some of the writing and whatever, which is, again, is completely justified in some cases. But you got to remember, they also put Anakin as a Force Ghost, and he certainly never learned that. He was a Sith, for Christ's sake. He was never a Jedi Master by title. He did sit on the council for a little bit, but he wasn't technically a Master. And he certainly never learned the Force Ghost thing. He went to the dark side for the rest of his life, and then redeemed by his kids, destroyed the Sith, whatever, as the chosen one. That did come true, just not how they expected, because you have to have balance, right? I've always said this. If you destroy the Sith, you have to destroy the Jedi Order too. There's no balance if you have a bunch of Jedi running around and no Sith. But anyway, the point being that, yes, he never learned it either, but you saw the original Anakin and then young Anakin, they reinserted back in there too with Yoda and Obi-Wan, and he never learned it either. So I don't think this is some big thing that's going to break everything, is what I'm saying. So while he shouldn't have been there as a ghost, technically, Anakin shouldn't have either. I don't know. I don't know what Mom is. I'm sorry, Lewis. Mom is out on Disney Plus today. It's great. Great Lizzie deserves an Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actress. What am I missing? Sifu, the show would have been benefited with Riva not been crowbarred in. Excuse me. Yeah, Sifu. I mean, I think there's some truth to that for sure. I think, Riva was a little bit of a distraction, but I also can appreciate the idea, is all I'm saying. Like the idea of, a former Padawan, youngling, whatever, becoming a Sith Inquisitor. Again, not a Sith Inquisitor. I think non-Star Wars people need to know that difference for sure. You saw it in the fight. I think that's totally fine because they all have backstories, and it's a sad story that she's she's feeling, which becomes her redemption, right? But it did feel a little bit forced for sure. It's like they couldn't do Obi-Wan and Vader all the time, otherwise it would have been 2 episodes and over. So they had to make this mini series, so they did the whole Leia Riva thing. But I don't know. Would you rather have seen 2-hour movie or a 6-episode show. It's kind of like, they're gonna, like we said, milk it. I have not seen beyond episode 1 of Miss Moore. I'll watch it, Lewis. I'll watch the rest of it. I thought the first one was fine. It's just I've never been a huge fan of it. It's more of a, this is all really kid stuff if you think about it, but I'm a big kid, but it's more, I don't know, kiddie for me, if that's a word now. But I thought it was fine. That's where they ran out of money. Liam Neeson was like, you get 5 seconds of me. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I thought they could have timed that better, after everything's over, and then he kind of leads him. I thought that was a cool shot, by the way. If y'all don't know, I guess most of you Star Wars nerds picked up on that. That was Beggar's Canyon they were walking through. They were starting to head towards as he goes to find his hut eventually. Beggar's Canyon's obviously the same canyon that Anakin pod raced through and all that stuff, and he talks about it in A New Hope and all that stuff. That was Beggar's Canyon behind them. It was just odd timing, like, you kind of show up now after everything's over. Maybe he could have been, instead of Leia, in his relationship with Leia, that's fine, but make Qui-Gon reach out to him when he's in a really dark place, I guess is what I expected anyway. Let's see here. I'm trying to catch up here. Steph, what? The 3S, what? Everett, if they do a show for Riva, it should be Riva running into Ahsoka, them fighting, and Ahsoka turning Riva's red kyber crystals to make her white kyber crystals. I don't, Everett, though, I don't like this new canon of crystal stuff, man. I don't. I like the original. I don't like how Disney kind of watered stuff down with the color of kyber crystals. I like the good old-fashioned Jedi go to, Elam or whatever and pick out their crystals that speak to them. Whatever, they pick a color they like, that can, whatever it is, and then the Sith just have synthetic crystals. It's not a real, because it's just a tool to them, whereas a Jedi is more of a religion. Or became that way. It became very dogmatic, which is why they were headed for a downfall right from the beginning. They had many wars with each other over the centuries or whatever in the Star Wars universe. I talked about in old history of the Sith and history of the Jedi videos. But I don't like this new canon where they got to kill a Jedi and make the crystal bleed and all that stuff. It's just people coming in, like, to me, it's like hijacking the original canon that Lucas sat down with all these people with for years and came up with, including people like Filoni. And then Disney comes in and says, nah, we don't really like that. We'll change some names. We'll change Korriban. We'll make it Moribond. We'll change the names of planets. We'll change why the crystals are red as opposed to just, It was the whole Sith mantra of the lightsaber was just for show. They were too powerful in the Force to worry about sabers. They used them for fun. Sidious actually made his more out of like these really precious metals just because he could. When it was almost a spit in the face of a Jedi. He didn't even need them. So they just went and got synthetic crystals and made him red. I like that better. Uncle Ian, he failed to protect Luke, and again, he failed to end Vader. Yeah, I did think that was odd, though. Obviously, he can't kill him, but it's like you're going to cut him down. He's sitting there, and you say, my friend is truly dead, but you walk away from him. And instead of putting him out of his misery, you clearly see he's in misery. The more humane thing to do to me was to go ahead and get rid of him. But obviously they can't because we know where this goes. And then, I don't know. The failure thing with Luke, I think there's more to it than just that. You can easily say, see, if he wasn't running around with Leia, he would have been there and he would have killed Riva before she had the chance. Yeah, maybe. But this kind of stuff happened in the comics too. He moved around. He did different things. He didn't help people. He was the same kind of beaten down, old, hopeless kind of guy. But was it really his failure when he was going to protect the kids of Anakin? I don't know. Just because he wasn't there. Again, you can't make a show if he's going to sit there on Tatooine and never kind of be reignited with the Force, or reunited with the Force, and then reignite his own passion and, you know, hope, I guess you could say. So, you know, I don't think they tried to make it like Riva is the reason Luke lived. You know what I mean? It wasn't, you can have that two things at once. You know, he wasn't there, and he felt him. He felt him in the Force and said Luke's in trouble, so he did go back. He was just a little late, but ultimately she decided not to hurt him. But it doesn't mean that she's the reason he's alive. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? If she never showed up, it would have made no difference. Nobody would have said he failed. You know what I'm saying? If he goes off planet, he does whatever he does, and nobody ever comes to get him, to help Luke, or to get Luke, then he doesn't fail at anything, right? And here's the other question. Okay, if he would just stayed on Tatooine, his lightsaber's buried in the sand, he's going to this shitty job every day, playing normal, and somebody showed up, whether it was Riva or sand people or whatever, and attacked Luke, what's he going to do? Jog on his camel and, I don't know, try to use the Force that he can barely use? Looks like he would have failed anyway, you see what I'm saying? So there's different ways you can look at that. So I try to think about it beyond just that he wasn't there type of thing. But it didn't feel to me, what I'm saying is it didn't feel to me like he was the reason, or whatever you want to say, that he failed. By the way, Ungland, I'm sorry. I heard this earlier, 20 minutes ago. I'm so sorry. Ungland, thank you for the super chat, by the way. Okay. I did read this comment, though. I appreciate the $5 super chat. Obi-Wan Bill Leia connection is now proven, and Vader knows Obi-Wan's still alive. How can you justify Vader Emperor not using this connection again? Well, he does. The Emperor does make the connection. Because remember, in this world, he's just another. Now he's basically saying he's just another Jedi, and they're still going after him. So there's, you know, Vader's still going after Jedi. That's their whole thing, right? Their whole thing with the Inquisitors. It was just a personal thing for him, obviously, being Obi-Wan. But Vader still doesn't know about his kids, and only the Emperor finds out through the Force in Empire Strikes Back. So it really doesn't change that much. You know what I'm saying? Now again, the point being that, yeah, they want to kill Kenobi, but you can't. The Grand Inquisitor was right when he told Vader on the ship, we can end this whole rebellion thing right here. We don't need to focus on one single Jedi that we can get later. And Anakin said, no, I'm going after Kenobi. So instead of taking his own ship or whatever, he had the whole Star Destroyer turn and follow him. So that was the point of the Emperor. The bigger picture is not your personal thing for Obi-Wan Kenobi. Is that they literally said that. So anyway, it is what it is. Jacko, I don't know. I'm seeing a Q there. Why did Qui-Gon couldn't survive lightsaber through the gut? We talked about that before. I don't like that either. I don't know. It just seems to be, I don't know, some random thing where she survives twice, not just once, but twice. But yeah, I don't know. This one more thing just to say about that too is I don't. That's what the aspect of the fight I don't like. Them having this fight in the first place gave Obi-Wan the opportunity to kill Vader and end. Now, it wouldn't have ended the Empire, obviously. It wouldn't have ended, the Sith, being that he is not the master. He would have just found another apprentice and kept on with the same plans. But it does give you the opportunity to end his suffering, whatever you want to say, and he doesn't do it and just kind of leaves him, which I think is odd. But I think he feels sorry for him. I do. I mean, he knows he's weak and he don't have anything on him until he obviously A New Hope, when he kind of gets more and more Vader and less Anakin, all that type of stuff. You're a fan. I'm just over the Jedi Hermit storyline. I want to see Star Wars do something different with the Jedi storyline. It seems like they do the same thing. They do. Every story is essentially the same. It's all the kind of redemption arc heroes tale. Lord Kev, their excuse for that is Obi-Wan reached out to him right before death and taught him, Anakin, the way to become a Force Ghost seconds before his death. Yeah, I know, but it's like, it's exactly what it is, Lord Kev. That's what I mean. I don't like this chain stuff, and I know Lucas did that. I mean, hey, look, I don't like everything Lucas did. He's never had great dialogue. People were complaining about the dialogue and stuff in this show. Lucas himself never had great dialogue. I mean, hey, we all complained about the prequels a lot, right? But I don't like that right before deaths, Obi-Wan somehow taught him this in like seconds or whatever. But I know, Lord Kev, that's the official explanation. Sure. Volguy, what's up, man? I know it's Obi-Wan chat, but can we get a quick update, book update, asking for a friend? Yeah, you can get a book update. The update is there is no update. I've started the second book, and I've started a prequel, which could end up being a set of short stories, which would more than likely that's probably what it would be. But I don't have a clear direction, Volguy, at this time of where I'm going, because I kind of wrote the end in the book, and then there's certainly a big world and a lot of things that can happen, and I do have ideas, but nothing that's really, really sticking with me. Like, nothing that I'm really excited about, super excited about. So I have started it, but I got to get that kind of clear direction first, even though sometimes just writing does actually help clarify that for me. But once I get that idea that I really, really love, I'll write fairly fast. So, check out the first book if you hadn't. It's out everywhere. I don't know if a mod can paste that link somewhere for anybody that's here new or returning that does not know. I do have a fantasy book out, The Crimson Gods. I should have had a copy in my hand. But yeah, it's been out since October of last year, and it's really cool, man. Really good reviews. And by the way, if you've read that book and you hadn't yet, please do me a huge favor and leave a review on Amazon. I'm trying to get to 100. I think we're at like 86 or 87. So it's supposed to help. It don't seem to be helping, but it's supposed to help having all these reviews. I think if you get to like 100, though, it'll start really kind of being pushed a little more when you start getting to triple digits. So if you hadn't left a review on Amazon for the Crimson Gods, really appreciate it if you do that. Seafood. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with this sentiment. By allowing Vader to live, Obi-Wan has the blood of billions on his hands. He has the blood of all the Jedi he goes after. I mean, in an indirect sense, obviously, but yeah, I think that's the problem with this show overall is you do a show like this where you have them come back and meet again. Now Obi-Wan is kind of the dumbass, right? For not killing him. It makes no sense to walk away. If he thinks his friend's dead, then kill the Sith Lord. I agree. Lord Kev, that would explain why they burnt his Vader suit and not his body. Well, we assume his body was in there. I mean, maybe it wasn't. I'm not saying it was, but when this first came out, it didn't show him when he died, right? It didn't show him vanish. So did they change that? I'm trying to remember. They didn't change that, did they? Did they change that with anything? Did they go back in any special editions and change that? I don't think they did. When, Luke tries to save him, and he's like, you already have. So if they didn't show him disappearing, like at what point is all I'm saying did Obi-Wan supposedly do that? Let's see. The prequel dialogue was infinitely better with the series. Some things were, some things were not. In my opinion, Sifu. There was definitely horrible dialogue, especially in the Clone Wars, but there was and horrible dialogue in this show too. But some was fine. Breno Santos, hello. Hayden acting was really good. Yeah, I think he did pretty good. You know, people got on Hayden pretty good in the prequels for kind of overdoing things, and there was some of that. He was certainly not a great actor at the time. I think some scenes were really, really good, and some were not. But I think he, you know, for the little bit we got to see him, it was definitely the character for sure. A-Team, I liked Riva's storyline. It was simple, and no one knew if she would survive. Didn't bother Canon. They have to have Jedi to play with. Have new Jedi to play with. Yeah, that's true. It didn't really, like that's what I was saying is I don't mind it because it really doesn't upset anything. We've always heard of the third sister in the other stuff, but we just never seen her. So they just took that opportunity to bring in somebody we hadn't seen before because we know what happens to the second sister in the video game. We know what happens to the ninth sister. The third brother, all this stuff, we know what happens to all these characters. So, you know, I think it's fine that they took the opportunity for a third sister to be in the show, and it didn't really hurt anything. I think people's major complaint now is that, okay, she was just like, she's the reason Luke survived, but it's not that, you know, it's not just that. Luke, the way Obi-Wan's acting now, he's going off and, you know, he doesn't need me to look after him, just y'all. He'll be fine. The future will take care of itself. And he just rides off and never really comes around again, right? So, is he failing? You know, is he going to fail? No. I mean, or is he just is he seeing that, you know, things will naturally happen and he's going to be in some danger sometimes, but he can't be there for him the whole time? Let's see. Proth Phenom, have loved the Crimson Gods, by the way. Only about a third left. I'll definitely throw a positive review. Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Hey, look, I've never asked for a positive review, just a review. If you love it, great. If you don't like it, that's fine too. I've just always asked for honest reviews, but I really appreciate it, and I'm glad you're enjoying it. Uncle Lynn, you can leave a review on Amazon if you have not bought it there. If you've read it, you just have I think the requirement, Doc can tell you this because Doc tried to leave a review. He bought it on Amazon and several copies for other people too. You have to have spent $50, I believe, right, Doc, in the last year to leave a review for anything. But yes, you can leave a review on Amazon without actually buying it there. Sure. As long as you have an account, you can leave a review with that. Apparently the money thing. You have to have spent $50 in the last year on anything. You don't have to have bought the actual book. Charlie, hello there. He did use the line. That was cool. That was the other thing I meant to mention, Charlie, is he said hello there to Luke, but in the Vader fight, he says, then my friend is truly dead, Darth. And he says Darth, because I always hated that. And in A New Hope, when he says, he calls him Darth instead of Vader. Darth is a title, not his name, you know, but that was before everything was really, and like he already knew, Lucas already had Sith Lords laid out. They actually cut scenes that said Sith Lord. But to use the word Darth instead of Vader was crazy to me. And then they kind of justify it here. Breno, Vader is still too much like Anakin and Kenobi. It was supposed to be like 5 years. Yeah, but that's the thing, man. If you read Dark Lord, it takes a while. This is really what this was about, was him kind of getting away from Anakin and realizing that Anakin's the one that was chasing down Obi-Wan personally. It was Vader didn't care. He just wanted to kill all Jedi in general because he hated the Jedi. And then he got twisted by Sidious and all that. But his thing was his realizing that Anakin was the one that was taking it so personally with Obi-Wan. So, yeah, I mean, it's about him becoming more and more Vader and less Anakin. That was the cool dynamic about it. You have two characters we love. You have Anakin becoming more twisted and evil Darth Vader, or not evil like Sidious, but becoming more and more Sith and less Anakin. You have Obi-Wan becoming less and less old, washed up old man who has no hope to the Jedi, old hermit wizard we love. So, and it took each other and this little thing to do it was the idea. Anyway. then Vader would have never killed Emperor Law. It's choreographed wrong. They should have been separate to where Obi-Wan couldn't get to him. Eerie fan, I don't know what you mean. I don't know you're responding to, or me, or Jake Cruz. What's up, man? Yeah, I didn't love Riva's acting. The first episodes were worse. I think it was better in the latter episodes for sure, when you really got to see some expression. I think that was part writing too. I think she played a character that they wrote, and I don't think it was all her. I'm not going to put it all on the actress herself. I think for what they wrote, you wasn't supposed to like her, and you know, some cheesy lines like we talked about before. So it's not all just that. I think she did better in the latter episodes, but it was still, yeah. Obi-Wan's off on vacation. Yeah, I mean, he seems to be going on vacation now. I mean, it seems to be kind of just, I'll be here if you need me type thing. I'm not going to really actively do anything anymore. Breno, 10 years later, Vader was supposed to be more mature. He was acting like rageful. Well, that was the point, though. You got to remember in the canon, Anakin/Vader is cool, calm, and collected. And that's why he's so badass, because usually Sith are encouraged to be more passionate and use their feelings and all that stuff. And they end up going in these rages. But that's what throws him off around Obi-Wan specifically. This is why it's a problem for him. He can never win that fight until A New Hope, when he is calm and collected and he's separated the emotion. That was the point. That's always been a thing. Dark Lord and all those kind of stuff. Comics, whatever. He's specifically weaker around Obi-Wan. You saw it in this fight. I don't know if they planned this way because of canonical stuff, or if it just came off that way, but you saw him start the fight really powerful, cool, calm, collected, stopping the rocks and showing you, look, I'm more powerful than you. But as he become more emotional, he started being more in a rage and started letting down, being open for attack. And that's when Obi-Wan switched up styles and started going after him offensively. So that's the idea, is the way it's supposed to be, actually, is around Obi-Wan specifically because of his love that's still there and his hatred, personal hatred. It gets in Vader's way, makes him weaker. Sifu, Vader calls Obi-Wan master. Why would that was definitely sarcasm. Why would we do that if Anakin, according to Vader, is dead? It was clearly sarcastic, Sifu, there, that particular line. He thought he killed him by throwing him down the hole. That's why you always lose. He does the force thing on the ground, throws him down, and he falls down the hole. He starts throwing all the rocks on top of him. He says, did you honestly think you could kill me, master, or whatever? It was clearly like, kind of a spitting on his grave type of thing. Yes, exactly. Vader is in denial all the way up until he kills the Emperor. Exactly, he really is. Anakin never really fully leaves. He pushes him really far to the back of his mind, right? I mean, he becomes this kind of like twisted machine, like Obi-Wan says later in New Hope. But Anakin's always there. He's always sitting there thinking and all that stuff. So he's always still there. He never truly goes away. He's always conflicted. All the way up until the end. He's never fully kills Anakin in that sense, which is the whole point of redemption. Yes, Doc, there you go, Doc. You're saying exactly basically what I'm saying. Yeah, Anakin was never truly dead. He wouldn't have killed the Emperor to save Luke. Yeah, I mean that's what I'm thinking. The Anakin was pretty much gone until he found out about Luke, and Luke was the force, the love thing, right? This is my child here. I'm watching him die in front of me, and that brought Anakin back. That was the whole point. Yep. He's always the point of all this. He's always been conflicted. He never truly became who the Emperor envisioned him becoming. He put him in. By the way, he put him in this suit that was actually behind the times in technology for this era in Star Wars. This cybernetics suit that it was so cumbersome. He did it on purpose to punish him for losing to Obi-Wan in the first place. You got to remember, the Emperor was a sinister bastard. Like, he was one of the few Sith Lords who were truly a twisted, evil fucker, right? If you know any of the history of the Sith and all that stuff, they wasn't just all evil. His master, Darth Plagueis, he hated the Jedi and all that stuff, but he wasn't just like a purely evil being or something. He just didn't like randomly kill people, whatever. Sidious was like that, not all Sith. And so there you go. I mean, Jake Cruz, Jedis keep being born, rat race. Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, Force sensitive people will always be born. That is true, and that was their thing. Let's eliminate them all, because that's what they did. They went after people who were Jedi, former Jedi that were still alive and hiding, and anybody Force sensitive, they killed. They couldn't afford any quote unquote hope, you know. Yeah, I thought that Ken, no, what's up, man? Yeah, I thought the same thing. Vader missed the opportunity to tell Obi-Wan that he had the high ground. I thought he would say something like that, too. I was thinking exactly the same thing when he looked down on him. It was almost like Maul. It was almost like Maul in Phantom Menace, you know, standing over him. When he looks down at him, I was like, I was thinking he's going to say some shit like, "Who's got the high ground now, Master?" You know, or some shit like that. Duke Silver, Riva just can't leak. What's up, Duke? How you doing, man? Riva just can't leave knowing Luke exists. That's what I said at the beginning. That's the big problem I have. Is Obi-Wan cannot let her walk away. That's a failure more than not being there to me. You know what I mean? That makes no sense to me. I mean, I know he just can't cold-blooded kill her, but I mean, you can mind wipe her or something. You know, he's a really powerful Jedi compared to her. She is very weak in the Force compared to him, Vader, an actual fully trained Jedi or Sith for that matter. He can wipe her mind or whatever he's got to do. They should have done something like that at least to justify her living. I mean, I think it would have been better thematically, from a writing perspective, and for the canon. If she makes that decision, very cool, fine. She knocks Luke out, whatever, but then can't do it. She sees herself as a youngling. The idea was that she became what she hated. She was after Vader the whole time, and she was becoming like him, which is that's a story that's like, you know, it's an old story, but it always works, and I think that was fine. But then she walks away with too much information. You don't know that she's not fully good now, you know, in 10 seconds or whatever. It takes time, and so I don't know. I think if she would have done what she did the same way, brought Luke back, I think she should have fell into Obi-Wan's arms and died, honestly, for the show. Anyway, that's what I think should have happened. I agree. Eerie fan, that's why I think Darth Maul would have made more sense as a character in the end with the whole Luke thing. Well, that happens later, though, remember? Darth Maul does find out about Luke. Remember that. I won't, for anybody that hadn't watched Rebels and stuff, I won't say anything. That happens later. And as soon as Obi-Wan finds out that Darth Maul knows that he's there to protect somebody, that's the end. You know what I'm saying? Volga Crimson Gods hardback on sale for, yeah, it is on sale. It's like 78% off right now on Amazon. Those who don't, not smart, those who don't on Amazon, those who don't do it, not smart folks. Just saying. Thank you. I've already read it and just bought 2 copies. Let's get to 100 reviews. Thank you, man. I appreciate it, Volga. I really do. It is on sale right now for sure. There's a link. I think Nightbot's spitting it out too. It still says pre-order, but I think that's the link, right? Yeah. Yeah, right now the Kindle version is $5.31. The audiobook is still $21 because I have no control over that. The hardcover is $6.49 and the paperback is $5.45. Let me tell you this though. I don't make any money off these books. I make like $1 off a paperback. I make like 40 cents off a hardcover. I make like $3 off a Kindle. But the hardcover by far is the best looking book version. I'm just saying. The Kindle version is they can't format them the same. They look like kind of like just at plain. But I'm telling you, man, the hardcover and paperback look outstanding. And I'm not saying that because it's my book. I'm saying it because these artists and people I use are outstanding. So yeah, definitely grab a copy, especially while it's that cheap, because it goes up and down. They change that all the time. I don't control that. Amazon changes that all the time. They're still regular price on like Barnes and Nobles and a few stores they're in and stuff like that. But Amazon lowers and raises it all the time. Right now, it's the lowest I've seen it. Duke, yeah, look, yeah. I mean, you could have had, yeah. While she's wounded, they had a chance to actually kill her. That could have been fine too. That would have been fine. But then you don't have the redemption part for the Inquisitors, because the Inquisitors they're interesting stories. They're put through hell. They were former Jedi, most of them, on some level, and they were captured or whatever, and or force sensitive, and then they're tortured and turned to the dark side. So they have interesting stories. So I have no problem with her story, but she can't just walk away from there like that, man. I mean, maybe in another show, or if she appears in another series, like maybe Ahsoka or something, I don't know. Maybe they'll kind of close that loophole, but right now it's a big problem. But while she was weak and everything, right, from the injury, because she was clearly grunting and stuff and in pain and had the wrap around her, they could have made that happen. Breno, a Vader show? I think, I don't know. I think if they have this money, then they'll do it. If you've read The Dark Lord, I'm telling you that would make an outstanding series. You don't have to have Obi-Wan involved. It's just there's some random Jedi in there. It's him. But Dark Lord is also a little earlier, but they could kind of adapt it and change it for this time period. Or even before, make it earlier, where he's like, it's like the next couple weeks after being turned or being put in the suit. That's what the Dark Lord goes through, where he hates the suit. He's always having it changed. He can't move in it. He learns to throw his lightsaber and control it versus just swinging it, because he literally can't move. He can't raise his arms above his shoulders. I mean, he goes through hell in this thing, and he hates it because he's not the Anakin he used to be. He can't move like that. So I think it would make a good series, because that's what, this one touched on a little bit in some of the emotional stuff, but not the cumbersome suit and how he was in the back to take as much as possible and out of that thing in his chamber and stuff. Thank you, Jake and Lord Kev. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, they really brought it to life. I mean, I worked with the cover people really close, and then the formatter, and it was really cool to work with them. And they made that book gorgeous. Even if the story, which again, hey, look, I'm proud to say that most people, I thought everybody was being really nice at first until you get 80 strangers or 30 or something on Goodreads leaving you, 4 and 5 star reviews. I think people actually enjoy the book, and I'm really proud of it. And I want to do another one, believe me, but I have to have the right angle, and I felt like that what I probably should have done was take this full story, how it ends, and made that into a trilogy and just expanded on it more. But obviously, it's too late for that. But yeah, Everett, Ahsoka, is now the same as Mando. It is, yep. So they don't have to worry about time stuff with that now. Yeah, Everett, that's true. That's what I was saying before. If we knew Riva before this a little bit, that would have helped out a lot, instead of meeting her for the first time, realizing she's this or that or whatever, and then all of a sudden she's kind of good again. It was just a little too fast. Sifu, Vader hunting down Jedi would be awesome, but don't trust anything Disney, Lucasfilm, anything anymore. Yeah, no, I'm always weary, for sure. Look, they have problems. They did, after all, they let The Last Jedi release to the public. I mean, hey, if you let that movie release to the public and think it's a good idea, I think there's something wrong with you. Now, again, if people liked it, that's fine. You can like it, but you can't. People don't really like it. They like it for different reasons, more political stuff. But Yeah, Vader hunting down Jedi. I mean, hey, I'm down anything Darth Vader. I'm down for to show him becoming powerful. Are fan? I think it's silly to call these cartoons 100% canon. They put themselves in a corner to where they can't make a live action movie without pissing someone off. Yeah, I mean, but at the time, I think when they did Clone Wars and Rebels and stuff, I don't think they foresaw necessarily a bunch of live action shows being this. I don't know. I mean, they always had plans for them. Like George Lucas had plans for a live action show. If you remember back in the day, before he sold to Disney, he was going to do a live action show, but he couldn't get it down to below $1 million per episode. And that shows you how far everything's come as far as money. Because now, like, what was Game of Thrones? $30 million per episode. That was the budget, stuff like that. So, if you remember, Lucas was going to do a live action show, but never got it done. But I don't know. But then again, hey, look, they can change canon too if they choose to. They can always change it and say, you know what, this is now Legends. Literally just, change it up. Hello, Kate R. How are you? Welcome. Vader creates Everett. Vader creates 8 fighting stance simply because of his prosthetics and cumbersome. Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, look, it's clear that some of these people, and I'm not saying anybody in particular, there's a lot of people who don't like anything they see Disney, and it's like, okay, The Last Jedi was trash, Rise of Skywalker was trash, but The Mandalorian was outstanding. Part of Boba Fett was outstanding. Rogue One was outstanding. Solo, it took me a while to watch it, but it was pretty good. They've done some good stuff too, and so I am cautious. But the people that are calling out all this kind of stuff in here clearly have not read Dark Lord and the Let's Now stuff that's considered Legends, I suppose. Plagueis and all the books, the Timothy Zahn, all the stuff that used to be canon, where there was some silly stuff there too. And they, we definitely had issues. Like you went to see if you're old like me, and you remember A New Hope in theaters, and then you go to see in 1999, you see the prequels, and then you're so hyped and excited about it, but then you get home and you start thinking about what I just saw. Like, there was things we criticized about it. So Star Wars has always had this criticism, because it was originally kind of a kids type thing, and they sold toys, and there was silly stuff involved. So people take it too seriously. I love it. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to always be critical if I don't like something. I'm all for anybody having their own opinions, and we can disagree or whatever. But there's also people that clearly don't know the canon, but want to over complain and hate every single aspect because it's got Riva in it, or it's got Leia in it, or it's not just Luke sitting there on a rock. I don't get some of that. I guess there's a market for it. Oh, okay. Yeah, Duke, I've been saying this forever. I have these old videos. It used to be the biggest video on my channel was the History of the Sith, and I got a History of the Jedi Part 1 and 2. They're really old videos. Let me pull up those videos. Let me find one of those. They're horrible videos, and the audio is horrible because this is when I first started. History. Let me find this thing of the Sith. Would I have to I guess type in my own channel name, SmokeScreen. I did videos on these. Let's see. Yeah, History of the Sith. I changed the thumbnail a couple times 6 years ago. It's got 162,000 views. This is the original. This was the original biggest video on my channel. But when I first started this channel, I did a bunch of Star Wars stuff. That video right there. The audio is horrible because I didn't have a mic and all that stuff. So I'm not saying it's like a great video, but the information is great and is correct. I would love to see a show based on that information right there. And I have a whole 2-parter on History of the Jedi, because the History of the Sith is like a small subsection of that anyway. Joe will tell the truth. Hold on one second. I'm sorry. Diana, thank you for the subscription. Thank you for subscribing, Diana Herrera. I don't know if that was on stream here now or if maybe she's just watching another video randomly somewhere. Thank you for the subscription. Do me a favor, if you hadn't already, please hit the subscribe button if you can. We're trying to turn this channel around. By the way, Sunday we'll be back Sunday to talk about this Jon Snow. I know somebody mentioned that earlier. I'm sorry I missed it. I saw it really quick and it disappeared. They apparently have confirmed this, or Amelia Clark did or something. I'll look into this. I think Dragon Demands apparently put out a video. Somebody just told me that. I'm sorry, I forgot who it was. We're going to talk about Jon Snow Sunday. So Sunday we start up the House of the Dragon's 2 months away now. Sunday we start up the live streams for House of the Dragon, and we're going to talk about unless we have a trailer, that I have to work on really quickly, a full trailer, which we should get soon, by the way. I want to talk about the potential of this Jon Snow show, because I think it's the more it hangs around with nobody saying anything, and they put they put Kit Harington's name on it, I think it's probably legit. The more and more I think about it, so I want to talk about the potential of what that could be, what they could do. I'm sorry, I was trying to get to. I've lost my spot. I'm sorry. Oh, Auntie Lou. I'm sorry. There's Auntie Lou. Thank you, Auntie Lou. The Dragon Demands drops new content on Jon Snow sequel. Amelia Clark confirms it's true. Sorry for it's off topic. No, that's okay. I wanted to mention that anyway, that I want to talk about this Sunday. So we'll be back this Sunday. Probably this will be the time we'll do after the show and all that stuff. So 10 o'clock Sunday, or at least maybe a little earlier if we can, depends on what's going on. We will live stream about this Jon Snow sequel. Sequel. I'm saying I want to say prequel, but no, it's actually a sequel apparently. Sifu, one thing that struck me about that scene is the emotion that came through Vader's suit helmet puts many actors these days to shame. It was really good. It was really good and emotional. Jedi Shogun, what's up? How you doing? Just bought your book off Amazon, so I have to read it next week while taking my daughter to visit some colleges in Tennessee and Arkansas. Can't wait. Awesome. Thank you, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoy it, man. That's 2.5 years of blood, sweat, and tears. I'm telling you, man. So I hope people are really digging it. And I really love hearing the good feedback on it, and bad for that matter. I haven't really heard a lot of bad stuff, honestly. But I think people are too nice. But I do really love the idea that there's a book out there that I wrote that people actually enjoy, that went beyond just talking about other people's stories on YouTube. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get back to where I was. I apologize. I was trying to read a comment from Joe will tell the truth. Thank you, Joe. What's up, Joe? Given that Disney literally canonized the entire extended universe, it can only be compared to the original trilogy and prequels. Disney did this to themselves. Yes, that is true. But they are, if you notice, Joe, they do pull a lot from Legends. So they can literally kind of take like pieces of, I don't know, Plagueis or Dark Lord or Timothy Zahn novels or whatever, and pull that stuff in. It's theirs to use. So I think they're kind of almost there. To me, until something actually replaces that, is still in my mind canon. And I know that's not official because my mind's not official. But until they replace that kind of stuff, that's the way. That's the information I have. So they kind of pull from that anyway. You can see that, especially Filoni kind of pulls a lot of that back into canon, like Plagueis, for example, and all that stuff. So, Joe will tell the truth. I'm joining this chat, by the way, not trolling or hating on you. This chat is great, but Disney is an appalling company and has no respect for the fans or source material. No. Look, I get the opinion. I agree for the most part, but you have people. What I'm saying is, Joe, is you do have people in Disney like Favreau, like Filoni. Deborah Chow, I think, did outstanding on The Mandalorian in these last 2 episodes of this, that do actually love Star Wars. There's definitely people in Disney who do not love Star Wars. They want to hijack fandoms and insert modern day political ideology into stuff. I hate all that stuff, believe me, just as much as anybody. All I'm saying is there's also the other side that goes over the top to try to they over criticize everything just because it's Disney, if that makes sense. That's all I'm saying. It's still made up of people, is all I mean, you know. And some people in there are actual fans. You can tell. Other people are definitely not. So yeah, we're definitely, you know, I don't have any problem with anybody being, I don't want to call it gatekeeping, but being suspicious of Disney and other people with their fandoms that they've grown up loving and the character. I mean, we saw what they did in The Last Jedi. I dropped a 50-minute to an hour shit bomb on The Last Jedi because it was complete and utter trash. They completely took the characters that we loved growing up, that everybody loved, and shit on them for the sole purpose of replacing them with other made-up characters that we did not give a shit about. And that was the pinnacle of what we call Disney Star Wars, as opposed to just Star Wars. So I agree to some degree, but there's also people in there who do like Star Wars. They're not just hijacking. But remember, that's all these people can do is hijack fandoms. You saw it with the comics. They started these new comics where they were trash and nobody bought them. People don't like that shit. People may say they like that stuff online, but they don't like that stuff, man. They're not reading that stuff. They're not ordering those comics. They stopped. Half of them are canceled already. So over time, it will all, you know, it's like you saw The Last Jedi and then The Rise of Skywalker. The Rise of Skywalker was bad, but JJ, due to the feedback of people like us, you and me, and the fans and people on this channel and other Star Wars fandoms on YouTube, they heard us. They absolutely heard us, and they tried to pull some things back and try to undo a little bit. They couldn't do it. Obviously, you can't completely undo a whole movie, but they tried, is all I'm saying. So anyway, that's where I stand. I just try to be common sense and about things. I know people have a huge problem with Disney, and I do on a lot of levels too, but they've also done some good stuff, and I guess that depends on who's in charge. Now, does Kathleen Kennedy need to go? 100%. She has no clue about Star Wars. She doesn't care about Star Wars in any way. She cares about politics. And but with that said, great things have come out under her, you know. So if she puts the right people in place, I don't care. Haynes Station. Hello, what's up, man? I think you've changed your name. Hey, Chris, I'm late to the party. Been a while since I've been on one of your live streams. I think Disney really dropped the ball with Boba Fett and Kenobi. Boba Fett, for sure, in the first few episodes, we were talking about that earlier. They got better when it was about the Mandalorian and Luke and Grogu. I think the last one, he was pretty good. The last episode was pretty good with him in it. He did like Boba Fett things. He shut the fuck up and he rode a Rancor and did some cool stuff. But Kenobi overall, I think, is okay. I think that it was really slow, not really well done in the first 3-4 episodes, but I saw him kind of getting his groove back from episode 3 on, and I think the last 2 really saved it. So there was some good things about it too, for sure. And we've already talked about a lot of this stuff, so I apologize. Yeah, Jedi Fallen Order. Yes, I played it, finished it, and I played Elden Ring and finished it twice already. So play both. I've actually streamed Elden Ring a little bit on the Twitch channel, and Jedi Fallen Order I did when that was a long time ago. Played them both, finished them both on Twitch, actually. JS Board, the Jedi are groomers. They are, man. They really are. They take kids from their families too early. I've always said this. I think Disney should avoid anything near the Skywalker trilogy. Make some new stuff 100+ years after the sequel. Grogu is the Grand Master of New Temple with Beskar, shoulder pad, and Darksaber. Yeah, they could for sure, but they always have to. When that doesn't work out, they always have to pull from the same well of nostalgia, you know. But my thing is, hey, you know, I'm down for anything like that. That's fine, but you can't make a new Jedi Order. Otherwise, you're going to create the same problems you did before. The light side is not good. It's not inherently good. You know what I mean? That's kind of the core of Star Wars for me, is this light side, dark side, Jedi versus Sith thing. It used to be balanced. I thought that's what they were going to do in the sequels. where Rey was going to be like a gray. I'm using quotes all the time. This is what people say, but go back to where it used to be in the Jedi Order, where they were gray Jedi who study both the light and the dark. Yeah, Haynes. Yeah, I was going to say I knew your name changed. I recognize Haynes. I knew the name changed, man. Anna, I'm not sure if you talked about it already, but in the soundtrack and John Williams' new theme for Obi-Wan. I liked the music was. I think a lot of people were complaining. I wasn't paying attention so much in the first few episodes, but I did after people mentioned it, and I thought finally the music was right this last one for sure. But yeah, I mean, anything John Williams is good. But I think what a lot of people were mad because they teased like Duel of the Fates and stuff with the trailers, but we never heard it. So, but I hadn't mentioned actually the music tonight, Anna. But I did say they did play the Imperial March finally when he kind of became Vader, almost fully. I guess was the idea. So yeah, anything John Williams is outstanding. Yeah, Sifu. Yeah, he has apparently he had a brother. I guess so. Who knows? I guess he wasn't force sensitive. Yeah, Anna, exactly what I was just saying. Yes, we heard Leia's theme in this one. Imperial March was outstanding. I thought they were probably waiting for that for a reason. There was no reason, without having a reason, there was no reason not play the Imperial March at some point since it's been 10 years or whatever. So I'm glad they brought it out at the right time. When he basically fully commits to being Vader and letting Anakin go for the most part. Jay is bored. I don't know what we got. Meat juice. Oh, yeah, the commands. I don't know. Lord Kev has deleted a lot of those old commands, I think. I told him to clean it up. We had like 400,000 commands. But anyway, guys, I'll leave it there, I guess. We're almost approaching midnight. Unless y'all want to go a little bit more. I don't know if y'all are down. If so, I'm going to go grab me another drink. I'm empty. And use the restroom real quick. I'll tell you what, I'll come back and we'll do another 15, 20 minutes if you guys still want to hang out. Enjoyed that Obi-Wan's theme combined the Rebel theme and Force. Yes, it was very cool. I'll watch it again, Anna, for sure, and listen closer, but I did notice it for sure. Because I want to see that fight again. I think the fight was outstanding. I want to see I know a lot of people's got it clipped on YouTube, those little parts. But I got to hear, the one thing I want to say about the conversation is I wish that, because we got the scene in Return of the Jedi where he says, Obi-Wan, he tells Luke, when Luke turned himself in, Obi-Wan once thought as you did. Obi-Wan should have said, Anakin, I'm sorry for everything, like he did, but then said something like, you got to use the exclamation point, Glint. Not hashtag. Something like, Anakin, come back, it's not too late, or something like that. Just some little single line that way that fit into Return of the Jedi better as far as their last meeting, because he says Obi-Wan once thought as you did. They should have. They missed an opportunity there too. A-Team. Lucasfilm has its own division, just like Marvel, Pixar, ESPN, ABC, Nat Geo, etc. Disney is a conglomerate. Why do people think are zero focused on one property, and no one blames AT&T for DC films? That is true, A-Team. I mean, you're right. They do, but that's what they're really saying. They're just using the parent company, I guess, because they are the parent company. But yeah, nobody says AT&T DC. I agree. But I think when they're saying Disney, they're saying essentially Lucasfilm, Disney, Lucasfilm, that version of Lucasfilm. So I think that's the idea. But no, I get what you're saying for sure. All right, let me go grab a drink another drink real quick, and give me 1 second. I will be back, and we'll do another 10, 15 minutes if you guys want to. Let me find, where is that? All right, give me 1 second, and I will be right back. All right. Do that. I don't have all this set up to my damn stream deck like I do on Twitch. I'm sorry. What is that? Stop it. All right. Yeah, Christian Cruz, like, okay. Just leave a comment like, okay. But it does help. Engagement helps. Likes help. Subscriptions help the most. Or joining the channel, or Master Chef, thank you, man. Hadn't seen you in here besides your very first comment, man. You've been lurking. Excuse me. Yeah, Lord Cav, thanks for doing the thing. You're saying don't forget like, subscribe, and follow on social media. Yeah, follow me on social media if you hadn't already. Specifically, I think Twitter that's where I will start posting more, like maybe during shows or whatever, live tweeting maybe or whatever, and announcements or whatever it may be. And maybe because we used to have a pretty good following on there. That's dropped a lot too, but I got to pick one and kind of a primary one, and that seems to be the best for this type of thing. So maybe if we get enough followers in my region, maybe eventually we can get that damn thing verified. If we can turn this channel around and get it back going in the right direction, be really cool. So, yeah, A-Team, Sifu, or you're saying cultural vandals. Yeah, if you're talking about the Disney stuff, I'm assuming you are. Yeah, the hijacking of like existing fans. Like, look, let me just say this. I love Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings is like the greatest story ever told. I'm really, really worried about the Rings of Power. I think Vanity Fair with that article and the stuff they had prepared for the backlash of what they showed in the teaser is basically telling you that it's not Tolkien and it's their own kind of hijacking of that fandom, and it's not going to go over well if that's the case. So I'm really worried about it, man, because I was really looking forward to it. That was going to be a major thing on this channel along with House of the Dragon. So hopefully we'll see, but we'll see what happens. O'Hara Young, hello. Welcome back, O'Hara Young. Good to see some familiar names back in here after a while. I know it's Star Wars, but I was saying earlier, we'll be back Sunday to talk about this Jon Snow show that apparently what's going on is, let's see, I think Dragon Demands put out a tweet or a video that Emilia Clarke in an interview confirmed that this is real. And I said earlier in the stream, for those of you that may have missed it, that I think that, let's see, let me find the article thing. Why am I on caps here? That the more I thought about it, that even though James Hibbard's put out some garbage before, as far as some of his reporting, and then he put out that book, Fire Cannot Kill a Dragon, that he reported that, the Jon Snow sequel and all that stuff, and that Kit Harington was involved. Apparently, in an interview, Emilia Clarke confirmed that it was Kit Harington's idea. So he is pitching maybe being a producer on the show or whatever. So it seems like it's legit. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to be a show, but it very likely will, I would imagine, but I don't know. So I want to talk about it and what they could potentially do. So we'll do that Sunday. We'll plan on that Sunday unless something happens or whatever. We'll start because we got 2 months now. We got basically 8 weeks until House of the Dragon, which I'm really, really looking forward to, and getting the family back together and doing videos again and all that stuff. It'll be a lot different this time, but I want to talk about as far as like videos, because there's not a lot of theories, because it's all, fleshed out material. There's going to be a lot of details that we could possibly do theories about, but so we know the big stuff. We know what happens, but we don't know all the details, because it's more of a Maester history book, Fire and Blood. But this Sunday, I want to talk about the Jon Snow sequel and what they could potentially do, because there's no source material, obviously. We don't even have the finished story in book form. So, anyway, I want to talk about it. So we'll do that Sunday, and we'll start our Sunday live streams back up and kind of reestablish our time slot that we used to do for seasons 7 and 8 of Game of Thrones, and talk about what the hell this could possibly be about. Zara, hello. Zara, how are you? There's Zara, the channel member Zara. If you want to support the channel, a couple ways, guys. I just want to mention this real quick, that you can do that. You can join the channel. I think there's it's almost like Twitch now. There's 3 different tiers, and you see like Zara and Doc Holliday has these little they can do emotes, and we're going to add more emotes and stuff and get them. We got to get them fixed for House of the Dragon. But you see their little badges beside their names, and a few other people. Certainly on Patreon is probably the best way, because it's like a monthly thing, and then of course just sharing videos, subscribing, all that good stuff. Because we're trying to turn this thing around, so we're going to give it one more shot here with House of the Dragon and see what happens. If we can get it going in the right direction. The videos seem to do okay, but then it just like if you don't put out a video every 2 days, then everything starts to drop off again. It's just really odd. Anyway, I want to talk about this Jon Snow sequel. I don't know. Just talk about it for a little bit and go through some ideas of what it could possibly be. It says in this thing, by the way, that Emilia Clarke was asked would she consider returning, and she says no. I'm done with the dragons. So we'll get it started and lead up to House of the Dragon. Ungalent, I heard HBO said this was a troll. What I just read, though, was an Emilia Clarke interview that says it's Kit's idea. Again, that doesn't mean it's going to become a show, but we'll see. So we'll talk about that on Sunday. Yeah, Zach, I can't. How you doing, Zach, man? By the way, I can't blame her either. I don't know if I would care about it unless she's going to be unless they essentially make Game of Thrones season 9 and then have her be resurrected by Kinvara or whatever, which I think should happen. George R. R. Martin said there would never be sequels, so I don't know if he'll be on board for it or what, but who knows, man. If she's not coming back, then what is he gonna do? Is he don't want it, man. He don't want it. Is he gonna? I mean, you have to bring some people back, otherwise it's gonna feel. It's not gonna feel right if he comes back and he never goes home and visits Sansa at Winterfell, or never goes to King's Landing to see his brother Bran. And I don't know, man. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I'm like not interested. I'm definitely interested. I want to talk about it. I need to put some thought into what it could possibly it'd be pure speculation. Amber Turd, you're talking about Christian Cruz? Maybe John will explore the North or find some remaining White Walkers. Some bullshit. Will you be watching Westworld? Yeah, I'm sorry, Haynes. I will watch it, but Westworld season 1 was some of the best TV ever made, honestly. And 2 and 3, I just kind of didn't like it, man. It kind of 2 got where they were trying to do too many mind fucks. And then 3, just kind of out in the real world most of the time. I mean, I understand they can't stay in the park the whole time and all that stuff. I get it. I do. It's got to evolve beyond the park. But when they got away from the core ideas and kind of, you were supposed to, who was the villain, who you pulling for, who you rooting for. They're changing back and forth, and I don't know. I just didn't like it nearly as much as season 1. So I'll definitely watch it. Now, will I cover it? I haven't really covered it since I quit mid-season 2 because every video got immediately struck down. It immediately demonetized. I couldn't put a screenshot or a little clip more than 5 or 10 seconds of the show. Every single video I got demonetized almost instantly. So I just quit because I was putting hours and hours and hours into watching and taking notes and recording and editing. And it didn't matter if I got 10 views or 10,000, I made 0. So, I mean, as much as I enjoy talking about this stuff and whatever, I mean, the YouTube channel is dead, and I have to. That's why I want to turn it around, obviously, and I have to depend, sadly, on like Game of Thrones stuff because I can't do these Star Wars streams or videos, and you cannot break into that. I did those years ago. I have probably 60 Star Wars videos on this channel. Only the one that I pointed out about the history of the Sith ever did well, because you cannot break into this Star Wars niche, and you have to be in some niche where other channels seem to be able to get by with doing 2 or 3 things. I cannot do that. Now, I'm not saying I won't. Obviously, we're sitting here talking Star Wars. I'm going to do what I enjoy, period, regardless. I'm just saying. I know I always end up on a YouTube rant. I apologize, so I'll just stop talking. Zach K, doing well, and hope you are too. And yeah, I would rather love a better ending than it's hard with that season 8 did. Yeah. If they could somehow fix some of that, I would be partially satisfied, man. But essentially, it would have to be Game of Thrones season 9, and I don't know. Like, would I love to see Jon and Tormund hanging out, and there's some possible. We'll talk about all that Sunday. But would I like them see those characters again? Because I'm sure Tormund would come back, being kind of not king, but how they say king beyond the wall with Mance Rayder and him. Yeah, it'd be cool to see him, but if you don't have a real plot and there's no real, I mean, what's at stake here? What's at stake? So we'll get into all that stuff on Sunday. Yeah, no, see, if I know I can get around claims, but they were what I mean by that was it was never an automatic claim. I always knew the fair use rules, right? I mean, nobody knows the exact rules, but I always knew 15 seconds or less in clips, because I did it with Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones videos are fine. Now, a lot of them get manually tagged by other people years later. Like, I still have Game of Thrones videos being demonetized to this day. Now, nobody's watching them anyway. It's not a big deal. But Warner Brothers have manual people manually going in, because you can easily bypass fair use. I mean, you're using all this stuff under fair use. You can bypass the YouTube system, but they have people manually going in looking for anything that's just remotely. If you show it doesn't matter if it's a screenshot, a 5-second clip, they will tag it. And some of those I've appealed in one, and some of those I didn't bother because it was a very small thing on this channel anyway. Westworld did pick up for a little bit, but it literally got to where as soon as I put out the video, it would be fine for a couple of minutes or an hour, whatever it may be, and they had this manual team of people that wasn't even like that were manually going and tagging every video, and you could not make money, honestly. So it's just stupid. Yeah, they let YouTube Haynes lets. It's like I said, YouTube is fine in and of themselves. You stick to the basic idea of I'm going to use very short clips, and I'm going to talk. Obviously, we're talking about reviews. We're criticizing something. We're using different clips out of order. We're using screenshots. That's fine. YouTube doesn't, it'll have a copyright system. It has a copyright system. But it's just making sure you're not like actually putting most of the show up, right? Sure, fine. But these people manually can come in and do what they want and claim your video for the money. And there are people usually that don't even own it. It's usually like some subsidiary of Warner Brothers or whatever for music or for some little clip or whatever. It's just dumb. So, Christian Crew, Jon and Tormund are ice road truckers. I mean, yeah, what are they going to do? What would the story be? The last surviving. Yeah, there are none. Zara. The Night King was killed. Once he was killed, they all exploded. There are no more White Walkers. There's no need for a Night's Watch. We said that before. There's no need for a wall. But yet he was sent back to the wall, and then he left the wall anyway because there's no point in the wall in Night's Watch. So I don't know, man. We'll talk about Sunday. We'll come back Sunday and put our thinking caps on and talk about what this new Jon Snow show could be if it does become a show. And then we'll definitely start talking some House of the Dragon. I got a whole House of the Dragon playlist. Look at this. Carol Brown. Who is this? Who is this lady in the chat? The DC diva. Carol Brown up in here. Hello, Carol. We did miss you. We're about done now, Carol, again. We missed you last week talking Obi-Wan. But thank you for stopping by, Carol. Glad to see you. Anyway, we'll get together. I've got a whole House of the Dragon playlist. There's probably 30-something videos in it. Character backstories and all that stuff. Some things will be minor spoilers because obviously it's a written book and we know what the overall thing's going to happen. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see if we can turn this damn thing around and get back to some sort of growth where it's worth it because, I mean, I got to pay bills ultimately. And it used to be okay. But I tell you what, I miss all you guys. I miss these videos, or these live streams, and where everybody was excited about something. We all rallied around the same thing. It didn't matter about anything, and we kind of all dropped our personal problems for a while, and all that stuff as well. I miss all that. I miss the community that I was happy to be a part of, and had some small hand in creating. I would hope. But we'll try it again. We'll try it again with House of the Dragon and kind of be the last hurrah. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You know what I mean? So, Carol Brown, thank you. She said happy birthday. It was my birthday a few days ago. I am older. So thank you, Carol. I appreciate it. But see, I get kind of screwed over, Carol. I get Father's Day and my birthday at the same time. My birthday's the 18th, so it's always right there, a day away, and I kind of get screwed. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's not fair. But I don't get presents and cakes and stuff anyway. Peter, what's up, Peter? Okay, am I back? Can you hear me? Okay, if you can hear me, the stream, if you can refresh the stream, it was the internet just randomly popped off. I think we might have saved it. So I don't know how many people you lost. Okay. All right, so I apologize. The internet dropped off there for a second for some reason. Okay, and we're back. Okay, I'm glad that was quick enough to. I guess everybody left anyway. We were about to be off here anyway and be done, but damn it. That was horrible timing. I will stop singing Frozen songs now. Yeah, I know, exactly. There you go, Chris. I talk about demonetizing, all of a sudden my internet gets fucking hit with lightning. It's back now. I don't know what happened. Just my router was flashing, and then I saw the buff. Anyway, we will come back Sunday, and we'll talk about this Jon Snow show and House of the Dragon. So we'll start our House of the Dragon. Sunday shows up then. Looks like now it's excellent. Now it's no data. Now it's excellent. All right, yeah. So we got issues here. So we'll go ahead and end it. Hopefully you guys can hear me now. I think we're good for a second here. But yeah, join us Sunday, and we'll talk this Jon Snow show. So thank you guys for hanging out. Overall, again, I enjoyed Obi-Wan. I think overall it was pretty damn good. The last two specifically kind of saved the whole thing for me. But we will go, and we will see you Sunday and try to rebuild this community and enjoy House of the Dragon, and we'll speculate on what the hell this Jon Snow show could be. So appreciate it, you guys. We will see you Sunday. Thanks for watching. Okay, Christian, okay. And we'll see you next time.